Hello crafters, I'm JanB and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. Today I'm going to show you how I made this card, which is called a hidden flap. It's another design from Shrishti Patil, who did the card last week. With my card last week I was asked if it could be have a bit added so that you could put in a gift card with it. Well, you could, but this card is better suited for that. When you open this up, that pulls that out and there's the flap inside. Okay, now this is the one I'm going to be making today, different design series paper and different images and what have you, but my prototype card was actually a masculine birthday card, and this is for a special person in our lives. It was his 18th birthday, as you can see from the sentiment that we're late with it, but we want to give him some gift cards, so I thought I would make this to see how it works. It works brilliantly. The only thing is, this one has 2 gift cards in it, this has none. You can see the difference in the bulkiness there. And what I found is, where I've used tear and tape for adhering the bits in, the tear and tape wasn't strong enough to hold this. I don't know if you see that, can't you, that this is coming undone? And it's coming undone there as well. So what I'm going to do for today's card is let me show you this first. Okay, so it's Ben's 18th birthday, and then you open up this and you've got space for 2 gift cards. Every time I think about it, I think credit cards, but they're not, they are gift cards. Okay, so what I'm going to be doing is I'll make sure that one opens up correctly, and then I will put Tombow on there as well as the tape, and I'm sure that's going to hold it down brilliantly. If you don't like this amount of bulk with the card, you could put a belly band round it, and I do think it would need to go that way because I think it might look silly going round that way with the sentiment. That way just doesn't seem to be correct. It should go that way. That's my opinion anyway. You may totally agree with me, which is fine. Anyway, this is take 2. I got all the way through as far as sticking this bit in, and I adhered it in upside down. So I started again. I'm going to show you, I will start from the beginning, obviously, but there is a bit, I have been able to salvage the base of my card, okay? So I'm going to start off right from the beginning again, telling you the card pieces and everything that you need. The inches that I'm going to give you now are for A4 cardstock users, and I will put the measurements in the box below, together with the metric measurements for A4 cardstock users. I would also give the inches measurements for people who use letter size cardstock, that is the USA and Canada. They'll all be down in the box below. But as I say, the inches I'm giving you now are for A4 cardstock. Obviously you could make this with letter size cardstock, but then you'd have a problem with your envelopes. Okay, this would be too big for it. Right, so the first piece of cardstock is real red, and this measures 10 inches by 5 3/4 inches. Another piece of real red cardstock which measures 7 1/4 inches by 4 1/2 inches. And then you need 3 pieces of basic white cardstock, and these measure 5 1/2 inches by 3 7/8 inches. Another 3 pieces of basic white, and they measure 4 1/4 inches by 2 5/8 inches. Another piece of basic white which measures 1 1/2 inches by 5 1/2 inches. Another piece of basic white which measures 4 1/4 inches by 1 1/2 inches. And then you need designer series paper. Just imagine this is what I'm going to be using. It isn't, because I've already done mine. Okay, so you need the 3 pieces of designer series paper which measure 5 3/8 inches by 3 3/4 inches. So that's those pieces sorted out. And then on these 3 pieces you need designer series paper that measures 4 1/8 inches by 2.5 inches. And then for this one you need a piece of designer series paper which measures 1 3/8 inches by 5 3/8 inches. And then another piece which measures 4 1/8 inches by 1 3/8 inches. Then you will need, for the greeting inside the card, a piece of real red, which, did I measure these? Yes I did. The real red, what I've done is I have die cut these using the stitched rectangle dies, and the Whisper White has been die cut with number 4, and that measures 2 1/4 inches by 3 5/8 inches. The real red has been die cut with die number 5. I always start counting my numbers from the inside. Smaller the die, smaller the number. So it's 1 2 3 4 5. That's the one for the red one. Again, that measurement is 3 15/16 of an inch by 2 5/8 of an inch. And then this is the piece that's going to be the layer rather, for my sentiment, and this measures approximately 1 7/8 inches by 1 5/16 of an inch. You'll see why that's got to be that sort of size when we get there. So first of all, we need our largest piece of real red cardstock. And this you need to score at, let's move that down so that's straight. That's it. So score this at 4 1/8, which is where you normally score a regular piece of cardstock for our regular A6 card. And then you need to score at 8 1/4 inches. Okay, then this piece you need to score at 2 7/8 inches, 3 3/8 inches, 3 7/8 inches. So those 3 lines are half an inch between each other. And then the last one you need at 6 3/4 inches. And again, that will give you half an inch at the edge there. So that's all we should be needing that for. So this piece we are going to fold and score on all the lines, making sure that as we fold this over, these line up straight. So there's that one. We've got 4 lines here. That's 1, 2. I'll turn this one over because I can't see if I'm lining it up straight or not. 3, and 4. That's that one. Now this one, fold it to make a regular A6 card. And fold that one up so you have a flap. Okay. Next, you would need to take your larger pieces, which are going to be going on here, and adhere your designer series paper on top. Okay, so what happens is you've got 1 on the front, 2 on the inside, and you've got the flap there, which is what I have here. Okay. Right, so I will be making another card with that, because while I was getting myself sorted out, I realised that the piece that I did wrong, which is this piece, the design is actually upside down to do it the way I wanted, but I can use it by putting this on this side, like that, using that like that, and I can do it there. Okay. But I've got it standing up there to make sure that I don't do it wrong again. And the reason I did it wrong is because I put the designer series paper on upside down. Okay, so at least it's a mistake that I've made so that you won't. So right, we will bring our 3 pieces over, and to make sure you don't, oh, let's shall we close it first? Yes, we're going to seal this up first. And what as I say, I've been using tear and tape all the way through. So I'm going to put one line on in the centre, and I'm just keeping it a little way away from the score line. I'll bring this up close so you can see what I'm doing exactly. And then the second line, I'm going up to that middle score line, close as, but without actually going over it. Okay, so you can see where I have the score line there, oops, there, and then there's a gap between the tear and tape. Then there's the score line there and a gap as well. So that when I take the covering off for that, when I close it, that bit is going to adhere to that. And when I take that tape off and close it, it's going to adhere to that bit. So it'll be really good and solid. Okay, but I'm not doing them one at a time, obviously. I'm going to do them both at the same time. Right, so we just need to close these together and then give them a good burnish. Just make sure they stick together beautifully. Now, what you need to do is, first of all, that one needs to be bent back. So you should have in front of you your cardstock looking like that. So you've got your 2 pieces going backwards. This one starting on your left hand side, that one being in the centre. Now this is the opposite to this one. When you do this one, you need this to open up as a regular card, okay, and that is going to be your flap. So on this one you have your flap this end when you're putting your designer series paper on for those 3, and when you're doing this one you put your designer series paper on that one, and that one. Let me show you. Now I have used a design here which does have a right and wrong way, and I hope that I've learned. Right, let's put these on. Fortunately, hubby is home with me, so when I'd made that mistake, rather than, because I had obviously got quite a long way ahead, I decided, first of all, I thought I could cut it all out again, which is a shame because I don't have all the same patterns. But I thought, I know what I can do, and that is I can use my heat tool to remove the bit that I've put in the wrong place. Everybody says how easy it is, and it is, as long as you've got 2 pairs of hands. I tried it once with 1 pair of hands and it really didn't work. So I called hubby in, and he just stood there holding my heat gun, pointing straight in front of him with me standing at his side obviously, and I was able to hold my card up in front of the heat gun, and slowly I pulled off the bit that I'd put in the wrong place. And now I'm thinking, okay, it was only in the wrong place for the direction I was putting my card together. And what I'll do is, in a minute, I'll show you. Now this is going to be the one that's the right way round. I'll put the wrong one in front of you as well so you can see what I've done. There we go. Okay, so now this is the correct way. And this one is the wrong one because it's upside down. Okay, but if I turn it around like that, then I can adhere this in to fit the opposite direction. So next bit I think we will do, in fact before I go on, what I'm going to say to you to remind you which is the correct way to go with both of these pieces. If you remember that the flap on the big piece goes to your right hand side and the flap on the smaller piece goes to your left hand side. If you remember that, you will be fine. So what we are going to do next is we are going to adhere this in here, and we are going to do it like that, so that comes over. That's right. Silly girl. Right, so we need to put some tape on here. Now this time I'm still going to use 2 lines of it, and this one is going right up to the score line again, leaving an absolute tiny gap. And then I'm going to put another one, but it's going to overlap. But it's okay, it will work. It's just extra sticky if you can get 2 pieces on there. So what I do to get this off, obviously one's going to stick on top of the other one. So I'm going to pull the top one off first. And then as I pull this one off, obviously the white from the underneath is going to lift the tape. It's already down there. Can you see what I mean? It's all coming off like that. If you pull it, keep it like that so that the tape comes downwards, and then you just need to touch it down like that. Okay? So what I need to do is I need that to glue onto that from that way. And what was recommended was if you mark halfway there, halfway here, then you put the 2 lines together. But I'm quite happy just to eyeball, make sure this gap here is about the same as that. And the only other thing to make sure is, one, that this comes up to the fold, but not touching the fold, the score line there rather. What was I going to say? The other thing, just make sure that's, and also make sure it's straight, of course. So if you lay it down there, that's got to be straight down there. Okay? So let me bring that up to you to show you how much of a gap that I've got there. Okay, it's very close to the score line, but it's not touching it and it's not going over it. Now that that's there, I'm going to give that a good burnish. Make sure that stays down. And now what happens is that comes over like that. When you glue that down, it will hold that in place. No, not like that, it's that way. Okay, so you open your card, comes out like that. It won't come too far because you're holding it down there, and then you can open that up. Okay, so that's much better. So before I carry on, I'm going to stick my piece on here. So I'm opening my card up this way, and this is for my longer piece. Let me just pop this one on. Obviously I'm quite happy doing take 2 if I make such a big mess up as I did with this one. The only problem is I can't always remember when I think of something. Now, did I say that in, I already said that in the first video, and assuming that I've said it earlier on this one, i.e. I miss things out. There we go. This is a nice design, I like it. In fact, I like all this paper. It's from Peaceful Place. Really nice. So that's that one done, and this is the one that I'm going to use for the gift card. So I could put it onto that one, I could put it onto that one, or that one even, but I want it on the inside. So first of all, let's glue this one down onto top and bottom, and this is the one that I'm saying that I'm going to be using tape and also Tombow. That's Tombow, that's tape. Let me just double check how much gap I've got there. I reckon there's enough room there to put 2 bits of tape down there. I think what I might do, let me think about this. I'm going to put one right on the edge there, or right towards the edge. I always leave a little tad there that, because I don't want my tape to go over the edge. Let's bring that back a minute. There we go. We've still got a gap there. So what I'm going to do is, like the other one where I overlapped it, I'm going to overlap this a bit as well. I don't want to go too close, but I just want to get that extra bit of adhesion. I mean, this isn't going to be anywhere near as bulky as the other one, but in case you do want to make yours bulky, you might find this is a good idea for you. Let's try this one again. And obviously by pulling the card open like this, you can see whether you've got, or at least how much gap you have. So just overlap them a bit. There we go. So I'll do one side first. I mean, both need to be closed at the same time. Let's go on the other side for this. Just make sure that lays down. Okay. Let's move all that out of the way. And now I'm going to put some Tombow on it. But by putting that extra bit of tape on there, I can see how far I can bring Tombow. The last thing I need is for it to ooze onto the inside. Okay, so that'll be fine for that one. I'll do the same down this side. There we go. Now make sure you've got your card down when you close this down. Nope. Just check and see if any Tombow leaked out the top there, but it didn't. There we go. For the other card that I did, the other red card, I thought that because if it doesn't pop open, people may not know it's there, but I think they will do. But I did think that what I could do is like I did last week with the little tab on there, but if you do that, you can't close it because it gets in the way of the mechanism there. Okay. and it does work easier the more you do it. Okay. Right, so now I need to decorate and do the sentiment. So what I'm using is the Be Jolly stamp set, which is one of those that I used last week, and I've got leftover images that have already been stamped, fussy cut and painted. And for my sentiment, is this the one? Yes, this is the one. I'm using, it's For Unto Us, and I'm using the Little Merry Christmas. Now I could use a bigger sentiment on the front of the card like I did with this one, but I've got something that I want to use on the front, which is humorous. I do like to get a little bit of humour. First of all, I want to do this side, and these are my 2 die cuts here, and I'm just going to pop those on there. This is for an extra sentiment or for you to sign your card. So obviously, because of the dimension in all of that, I'm not using any dimensionals on the inside of the card, but I will on the front. I just keep my card open and I'm paying attention to get this and this the same sort of gap and the same gap from the bottom there, which I think that looks about the same. And I'm not putting an extra sentiment in, I will just be using this to sign the card. But if you want a sentiment, you might want to not put this layer in just yet. There we go. Okay, so the images that I have that I'm planning to use are the 2 Father Christmases. So I'll have one on one of these and one on another. Don't know whether I want to do one there and one there with the gift card on that side, or shall I have them 2 dancing? I don't want I think I'll do one on there. Okay, so what you will find with this piece, if you have copied my sizing, you'll find that you'll be able to adhere this on one of these and match up the white here with the white along the bottom of one of these. Okay, and then where's the credit gift card, not credit card. I seem to have credit card on the brain. Okay, so then that will slide into there. Okay, so let's put this on first. I think I might actually do it on this one. So see Father Christmas, see the next one, and then the surprise over that side. Yeah, I'm going to put it on this one. So what I need to do is to put some tear and tape on here. I'm just going to do one line. You can use Seal Plus if you like. You can use Tombow, but that's a bit difficult because the last thing you need is for that to leak on the inside, and then it would seal down so you can't use your put your card in there. Now this doesn't actually need to go all the way along, just enough in a place to stop the card falling through. I just think that as I'm doing it I might as well do the whole lot anyway. And I will just put a hint of Tombow on it so that I've got a little bit of time just to make sure that I get it straight. But nowhere near enough to allow it to leak through the sides. See, I'm keeping this right to the edge here. Okay, so I said this one, didn't I? Oh, I've done it again, haven't I? I put my tape on the wrong side. Oh well, never mind. I had wanted to put it here, but obviously I can't because that's upside down. So I'm going to put it on this side. It doesn't matter because it's not going, the card won't fall out. There we go. Okay, so it's hidden. Trust me, that will get easier. Like, where's my red one gone? There we go. Okay, it will get like that. Right, so now I want to put my Father Christmases on here. Oh, I've got to do the sentiment as well, haven't I? So there's that one. And this one can go on there. The other one's a Happy Father Christmas. This one's a bit more sedate, shall we say. The moral of the story with this, with me doing things the wrong way round, the moral of the story is don't use directional patterns. But with the patterns that Stampin' Up come up with, that would be an awful shame if you had to stick to just those. I mean, this one couldn't get that wrong at all. Okay, so that's that. Now, on the front of the card, what I want to do is, if you remember the card was it last week's card or the week before, where it's the week before, that's right, where I had the Father Christmases and had the boxes on either side. I had a Father Christmas going down a chimney. Well, I thought I'd like that on this card on the front here. So what I've done is I took some of the designer series paper from Bloom Where You're Planted, and then I took a little strip of cinnamon cider cardstock, adhered that on the top, and then I had half Father Christmas that I stuck on the back like that, so I could put that on here. So I'm going to do my Merry Christmas there, and then he can go on that one. Okay, so let's keep that tipped up the wrong way, the right way, well, upside down rather, and let's do a sentiment. I only need a small piece of Whisper White. I've got my real red ink, and I've got that. This was the other sentiment that I used, but I think that might be too big. I like that at an angle, actually. Would I be able to still be? Oh, I could do the both, couldn't I? What do you think? Can you see both those? Oh, I'm going to do that, I think. That looks a little bit small, I think. Alright, now, what stamp set was this one from? I don't think I've got any others out here, have I? I put them all away. Okay, it will be in the box below the video where this sentiment came from. It wasn't that one, was it? No. Okay, and I can see that one hasn't been cleaned since I used it last, so let me just get my... Oh, I know what I could use. I could use my chamois. This is brilliant for cleaning stamps. Can you see all that green that's just been coming off? Probably not, it's too filthy. Thing is, once that gets stained with ink, it stays stained, but it doesn't come off on the stamps that you're cleaning. Okay, so pop that back. I think we'll have this in red, yeah. Let me just get a scrap of paper to stamp it off once, just to check. Oh yes, lovely. This means that obviously I won't be needing that little piece. Right, so I need to die cut this. Let's move that up there. And I need a larger piece than that. The dies I need to die cut this are number 5. No, that's number 6. And the red that I do will be number 7. Okay. As I say, I always start counting from the smaller dies. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then number 7 for that one. I do need just to get a piece more of real red cardstock. So I can die cut that as well, because that's not going to be big enough, I don't think, is it? Yes, it will. Right, let me bring my big shot over. There we go. Let's put that one through first. Turn the die over the right way. Fortunately on these dies the cutting edge is on the inside. That's because this set, my set here, are Sizzix. I believe now that we sell Stampin' Up own dies. And I don't really know where the cutting edge is on their circles. There we go. That was good. Don't like wasting paper. So that was that one. That's going to go on there. That can be saved. So that's all I need. Oops, go back. Right, so I'm going to pop that on there. And I'm going to pop him underneath. Yes, that's lovely. I like that. Okay, let's pop these two together. I'm going to put them up on dimensionals. There we go. And then I'm going to pop him up on dimensionals as well. So, oh, here they are. Let's prepare this one first. I want to put dimensionals over that blue. What I don't want is for that to get squashed down and then find that the glue actually sticks to the card front. I don't think the small dimensional is going to cope with that boot. So, oh look, we got this. Will that go in there? Just about. That's good. Get off. There we go. That would be beautiful. Oh, we need it for here as well. So let's pop this one on first. I think it looks nice sideways, don't you? Doesn't have to be straight. No, sideways, definitely. Very relaxed like that. Oh, get off. There we go. Oops. Actually, I didn't plan it like this, but it's great that it's on a starry background. Don't you think? Oh, there we go. I need to put some shiny bits on there somehow. What have I got? What would look nice on there? Oh, I know what I've got. Have I still got them here? Yes, I have. These are our subtle shimmer sequins. And there's at least two sizes, and I think there's two types as well. They're like the opaque ones and the silvery ones. and I like these silvery ones, especially the big silvery ones. So we have 5. They do tell us we should use odd numbers. Actually, I could put those inside the snowflakes, couldn't I? No, I need something up there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can always go back afterwards if I want more. In fact, I'll show you what I did on the other card, because I used some of these, but then once I'd put them on, I'd gone round and put a little red rhinestone in them as well, in the centre. I don't know if anybody noticed that. Just added a nice bit of extra bling. In fact, I wonder if I should do that on this. There we go, let me show you what it looks like. Okay, that's the red rhinestone with the silvery sequin there. I've done it on all of them around here as well. So I think that looks rather nice. In fact, once I'd done it, I thought the ones that hadn't been done looked really rather plain. There we go. Lovely. I'm pleased with that. Hope you like it too. If you have any questions, please leave them in the box below the video, or any comments to make. I always read them and I always try and answer all of them. I will leave, as I said earlier, all the measurements in the box below, and that's inches and metric for A4 cardstock users and inches for left size cardstock users. Also in the box below I will leave a list of the products that I've used to make this card, and there'll be a link to my 24/7 online Stampin' Up shop. I would appreciate your business if you don't have a Stampin' Up demonstrator already. I am working my socks off at the moment trying to earn the incentive trip to the cruise to the Caribbean. I've only got 2 weeks left and it's touch and go when I'm going to make it or not, so if you can help me out I would be so grateful. Also, if you've enjoyed my video and would like to be notified each time I upload a new one, please click on the subscribe now button down in the bottom right hand corner and then click on the bell. That way you'll make sure that you get the notifications. Also, if you do shop in my online store, please remember to use the HOSTESS code, so that at the beginning of October, when I send you Happy Mail, which is a handmade thank you card from me, unused and with an envelope, so it's ready for you to use, and also a handmade thank you gift, I will also be able to send you free product if you use that code as well. So it really is happy mail. And on top of that, I belong to the Create With Us International Demonstrators team, and we produce a 15 project PDF which we give away to customers for a qualifying order. So if you would like to get that as well, qualifying order is either £45 or €60. So it really is win-win-win. Plus the fact that you get the joy of having Stampin' Up products and using quality. So there we go. Many thanks for joining me today. I look forward to seeing you next time. Please take care, stay safe and happy crafting. Cheerio.